Welcome into the Commanders Report mailbag. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today is my favorite segment of the week because I get to take in the questions that you guys have about the burgundy and gold, and I get to give you guys direct answers, kind of this two-way conversation. We really pride ourselves here at the Commanders Report at being the most interactive fan community for Commanders fans anywhere else on YouTube. So if you want to join our family today, you guys can click that subscribe button. We do these mailbags every single week. We record them during our Commanders Report live shows that we hold every single Wednesday. So if you guys want to join our family and even get a question on a future edition of the Commanders Report Q&A, you guys can click that subscribe button and join us at 5 p.m. Eastern Time every Wednesday for our Commanders Report live shows. Okay, now let's get into the questions here, starting with Evan Underwood. Says, do you think Trey Amos could be a shoo-in for Defensive Rookie of the Year based on OTAs so far? Well, according to Joe Witt Jr., the defensive coordinator, I think his exact quote, he's ahead of the curve, so he's definitely doing a good job. All the reports coming out is that he's already making an impact in the O&D period, so that's the little scrimmages that they do, even though they're in shorts and not in pads. But Amos is somebody that I have a lot of confidence in heading into his first season in the National Football League. He's got great size. He's got great length. He's got great physicality, plays with great instincts. He can play in press or off coverage. No matter what whatever the coaching staff looks like, whatever the defensive scheme looks like here in Washington, I think Amos is going to be somebody that is a very reliable player for this defense for years to come. And, when it comes to Defensive Rookie of the Year, there's a lot of really good defensive players in this class, but and when it comes to Defensive Rookie of the Year, it's very tough for like a number 2 corner to win it. So I wouldn't say a shoo-in. I wouldn't necessarily rule him out, especially if he has a really stellar rookie season. We have seen really, really good corners win Defensive Rookie of the Year before. So I won't count him out. But a shoo-in, I'm not even sure if Ashton Genty's a shoo-in for Offensive Rookie of the Year. So I wouldn't be so arrogant to say that Trey Amos is a shoo-in for Defensive Rookie of the Year so far. Then we got Lord Drago says, do you think there is any attractive situations for the coaching staff to take over from coaches on the hot seat? I'm kind of, Joey, what does he mean by this question? Oh, okay. So I get this question now. Okay, so Kliff Kingsbury is probably going to leave. All right, so it's definitely tough to answer this question because you just don't know. Like Kevin Stefanski, if he has another bad season in Cleveland, he could be made available. There's some other situations out there. Brian Dable, if he gets fired, that would be an awesome addition if you could land him as your OC if Kliff leaves for somewhere else next year. But, I think this is a really good question, Lord Drago, but unfortunately it's a tough one to answer until we see how the NFL season plays out because everyone's kind of fixated right now. A lot of teams have hope that they're going to be able to turn their franchises around or at least stay put. So it's going to be difficult to see into the future at this point in time. But there's certainly some options out there, and there will be options. Then you got JD5 Fan, $2, says, how many total touchdowns will Jaden Daniels have? I wouldn't be shocked, guys. This is going to be a crazy number if he gets close to 50. All right, like that's a crazy number. That's like Patrick Mahomes level number. In his second season in the National Football League, technically his first season as a starter. But Jaden Daniels, with his ability to throw the football and run with the football, like it wouldn't surprise me at all if he gets to 50 total touchdowns this year. All right, like he is that special of a player. He was kind of knocking on the door of really approaching that number last year even. But, I'm looking forward to what he's going to be able to do this season and take that second-year leap that we're all expecting from him this year. So take a guess for me down there in the comments section. How many touchdowns will Jaden Daniels have next season? This will be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know whether you think Jaden Daniels is going to get 30 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns, 50 touchdowns, more than that. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. Going from my man Merle says, who fits Dan Quinn's system better, Trey Hendrickson or TJ Watt? Listen, man, whenever you have guys of that caliber, everybody fits the defense, all right? It's not necessarily a matter of fit at that point. It's a matter of, are they just a really good freaking elite superstar edge rusher? And they find ways to make that player work, right? That's the type of player that you completely center your defense around. TJ Watt's not going to get traded, all right? I'm just going to tell you that right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers love him. He wants to be there in Pittsburgh, and the Steelers are trying to win now. It sounds like Aaron Rodgers is going to sign on with the Pittsburgh Steelers at some point, any day now. If not, I mean, this is probably going to be going out during the weekend. Rodgers may have already announced he's signing with the Steelers at this point. They're trying to win now. They're not going to let TJ Watt leave. It's just not going to happen. So Trey Hendrickson is a really realistic possibility, in my opinion. TJ Watt, not so much. Then we got one from Wally Goozer. Says, this news broke a bit ago, but the Commanders signed a UDFA in April named TJ. I know the name, but I'm just not going to try and butcher that, who joined through the IPP. What do you think about UDFAs like him? Can he be a big help for the team? So TJ is a rugby star from Africa, and it's going to be a tough transition. I'll say that. Rugby and football, these are two sports that get compared quite a bit, but they are different sports, all right? And to go from playing rugby to playing football, it's just a completely different skill set, completely different game. Now, even though they're both very physical sports and, very similar shaped balls and all this different stuff, I think that it's going to be an uphill battle for him. Now, he's obviously a world-class athlete, all right? He was a star rugby player. He's coming over, and obviously he's a physical specimen. So if he can develop and if he can take the coaching and all this different stuff, who knows how good he can be. But any player in the IPP that really doesn't have a whole lot of experience playing American football is going to have an uphill battle, but I'm definitely rooting for him. Then we got one from JG here. It says, what is the strongest room on the team this year? Quarterback. Because you got the superstar player in that room, right? Because Jaden Daniels, if you have a superstar quarterback, that elevates your entire team. We saw it last year. This was not a super impressive roster last year, guys. Let's just acknowledge it for what it was. They didn't have the best edge rusher room last year. They had arguably the worst cornerback situation in the league last year. The defense certainly was maybe average, maybe slightly below average at times. And the offense, the offensive line wasn't great. They certainly don't have elite running backs here, even though they're decent enough. And you have Terry McLaurin, but outside of that, you didn't really have another bona fide, really, really good starter in the wide receiver room. You were good last year because the coaching was excellent, and Jaden Daniels, as a rookie, carried this football team with his ability to make plays, to read defenses, to throw accurate footballs, and to really come up clutch in big moments. So I think that Jaden Daniels is the reason why this team has catapulted themselves from one season to the next, going from number 2 pick in the draft to maybe the number 2 favorite to win the Super Bowl this year, all right? So for me, quarterback is the strongest asset to this team. And if you agree with me, and if you want a Jaden Daniels jersey in your closet today, you guys can check out our friends at Fanatics today. Go to chatsports.com/Daniels to pick up your new Jaden Daniels Commanders jersey today. Another benefit to this, guys, is that it also helps out the channel. If you use our link, which is down in the comments and description of today's show, it's also right below me here, chatsports.com/Daniels, and you make a purchase for a Jaden Daniels jersey today, Fanatics sends us here at the Commanders Report part of the proceeds for that purchase, all right? So it helps us out here at the Commanders Report. It helps you out because you get a Jaden Daniels jersey. Let's face it, guys, he's a superstar quarterback. You're going to be able to wear that jersey probably for the rest of your life and have it still be relevant in this fan base. So if you guys want to get a jersey for life today and you want to help out the channel, go chatsports.com/Daniels and make a purchase. Then we got one from Renz Magia. Says, I'm going to be completely honest. There's no chance we get Trey Hendrickson, but if we were to, how do you think the best way we could get him? So I've said time and time again here that, it's tough because you have only 5 draft picks next year. You've already given up your 2nd-round pick and your 4th-round pick next year. So, if you give up your 3rd-round pick, for example, then you don't have any picks from rounds 2, 3, 4, and you have your 1st-round pick and you don't pick again until round 5. All right, so that is not a great situation. So I think you have to get creative here. And what I would do is I would propose kind of a pick swap where you would give the Bengals your 1st-round pick next year, which I'm expected to be a late 1st-round pick. I'm expecting the Commanders to be a very good football team next year, make it deep into the playoffs again, and then you get the Bengals' 2nd-round pick, all right? So I think that would be a more than fair deal there. You get Trey Hendrickson. You still have the same amount of draft picks in next year's NFL draft that you have right now. The Bengals get an additional 1st-round pick to get whatever kind of players they need to get to fill out their defense. Plus, they get Dorrance Armstrong in this deal as well. So I think that this is something that both sides could look at as something that would be beneficial. And we'll see what happens with the Hendrickson saga. It seems like the Bengals really want to keep him around. But if things continue to devolve and things continue to get worse on that front, I wouldn't necessarily say I'd put the chances of it at 0% at this point in time. Then we got one from MexPia21 says, do players talk to the coaching staff and have a conversation about them not showing up to OTAs, or do they just not show up? Do you have any insight into the dynamics involved? Yes, I do. They usually are in communication, and this has been well reported here that Marshawn Lattimore, for example, not at Commanders OTAs, he has been in communication with the coaching staff throughout this time. Pretty much they just say, hey, I'm not planning on going, all this different stuff, and the coaches say, they ask questions as to why not and all this different stuff. And, the conversation is different for every player. Some players have contract disputes. Others are older veterans that don't really feel like it's necessary to show up to voluntary workouts. And what they do at these OTAs and what they do at minicamp, guys, is they pretty much just do their basic installs, both offense and defense. There's not really a whole lot in terms of like the complex schemes that you do and see every single Sunday in the National Football League. All that stuff gets hashed out in training camp. So honestly, like OTAs, minicamp, it's really not that important to the success of a football team, which is why a lot of players like Laramie Tunsil, Aaron Rodgers has traditionally done this throughout his career for these older kind of veterans to not show up to these things. Then we get to Jasmine Gray. Says, I have a question for you, Jack. It is Washington Commanders will win the Super Bowl this year, and Jayden Daniels will win the MVP this season. Both those things are within the realm of possibility. Am I going to sit up here and guarantee it with all the great teams and all the great players in this league today? No. And I think that in the National Football League, the best you can possibly do is give your team the best possible chance to win a Super Bowl. And I think that the Commanders are doing the things that they need to do to put themselves in that position. You can never guarantee yourself a Super Bowl championship in the offseason. All you can do is give your team a chance, and I think that's exactly what the Washington Commanders have done, not only landing Jayden Daniels, but also the moves that they have done this year to protect him. Laramie Tunsil, Josh Connerly Jr., also getting him a new weapon in Deebo Samuel, and then this defense has a chance, especially in the secondary, to be a lot better than it was last year as well. So I think both those things are definitely within the realm of possibility. We'll just see if they can execute on their potential. So how are we feeling? Let me know down there in the comment section. What's your confidence level that Washington could win the Super Bowl this year? Put it on a scale of 1, meaning no chance they're winning the Super Bowl, to 10, meaning they're definitely winning the Super Bowl. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. For me, I'm probably sitting at around an 8. Very confident in this football team. I'm not at the level where I'm going to guarantee they win a Super Bowl, or maybe that they're the number 1 team on my power rankings, but they're definitely in that tier of Super Bowl contenders, in my opinion. And I'm very excited for this team's future. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. That concludes this week's Commanders Report mailbag segment. But we're going to have more of these throughout the offseason, leading up to training camp and leading up to the 2025 NFL season. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already for more extensive Commanders content.